Okay, be honest with me. When did your favorite coffee shop stop giving you that free 10th drink? You remember the punch card, right? 10 little stamps, and boom, a free latte on the house. Now that card is gone. And the free Wi-Fi? It either disappeared or got a time limit. Maybe you blamed the barista. Maybe you blamed the owner for getting greedy. But here's the thing. That owner is probably just as frustrated as you are. Because the real reason your free coffee vanished? It wasn't decided behind the counter. It was decided in a marble building in Washington, D.C. by people who have never poured a latte in their lives. Let me zoom out for you, because this isn't just about coffee shops. This is about everything that used to feel cheap and suddenly doesn't. Remember when an Uber ride cost less than a subway ticket? That wasn't magic. That was a financial illusion. Between 2018 and 2021, the average cost of a ride on platforms like Uber and Lyft surged by 92%. 92%. The cheap ride was never real. It was being paid for by someone else's money. So here's the bridge between your punch card and the Federal Reserve. For over a decade, interest rates sat near zero. Think of interest rates as the price tag on borrowing money. When that price tag reads zero, money is essentially free. And when money is free, businesses don't need to make a profit right away. They can hand out free lattes, subsidized rides, and unlimited perks, all to hook you first and figure out the math later. But then the music stopped. The Federal Reserve hiked rates by 525 basis points. That's like your landlord quintupling your rent overnight. Suddenly, every borrowed dollar got expensive. And every business that had been buying your loyalty with free stuff, they had to choose, keep the perks or keep the lights on. That's not greed. That's survival math, dictated from a building most people have never even thought about. Alright, let's pop the hood on this machine. Picture the Federal Reserve as a giant thermostat for the entire economy. For over a decade, that thermostat was set to freezing near zero interest rates. Economists call this ZIRP, or Zero Interest Rate Policy. But forget the acronym. Just think of it as an all-you-can-borrow buffet. When borrowing costs nothing, every startup, every cafe, every app says the same thing. Growth now, profits later. So they spent wildly to win you over. Free rides, free coffee, free shipping. Your loyalty was the product they were buying, and Wall Street was footing the bill. Now here's where the dominoes start falling. In 2022, the Fed yanked that thermostat up hard. 525 basis points of rate hikes. That's not a nudge. That's a sledgehammer. And it hit small businesses like a freight train. The average interest rate on short-term small business loans jumped from 4.3% to 9.8%. Your coffee shop owner's borrowing costs more than doubled in under 2 years. Meanwhile, the cost of simply finding a new customer online exploded. Retail e-commerce customer acquisition costs surged 222% from $9 per customer in 2013 to $29 by 2022. So the cafe owner is paying double to borrow money and triple to attract you. So what does the owner do? Simple triage. Imagine your household budget suddenly doubled in rent. You'd cancel streaming services first, right? That's exactly what businesses did. But the streaming service they canceled was your free stuff. The punch card? Gone. The free oat milk upgrade? Now it's 75 cents extra. Free Wi-Fi with no purchase? Sorry, customers only. These aren't decisions made out of greed. They're desperate arithmetic. When your Uber ride jumped 92% in 3 years, that wasn't the driver's fault. It was the invisible hand of the Fed, reaching through the entire supply chain, squeezing every last subsidy dry. The free era didn't end because businesses stopped caring. It ended because the thermostat finally moved. So, the next time you see a new charge for almond milk, don't get mad at the barista. It is incredibly easy to blame local greed. We think the cafe owner is just squeezing us for extra profit. But the reality is totally different. You aren't paying a greed tax. You are finally paying the actual price of your coffee. For 10 years, cheap loans subsidized your lifestyle. Now, gravity has returned. Think of the last decade as a massive, global clearance sale. Central banks handed out discount coupons to businesses who passed them to you. But those coupons just expired. This means we have to change how we view our everyday spending. The days of endless freebies and ultra-cheap convenience are over. As an investor or a consumer, you must adapt. Businesses that survive now actually need to make real money. So here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Every price tag you see tells two stories. One is about the thing you're buying. The other is about the invisible global machinery humming behind it. Next time something gets more expensive, don't just ask who raised the price. Ask who moved the thermostat. Share this with a friend who misses their free stuff. Subscribe if you want to keep decoding the invisible forces shaping your wallet. Because once you see the wiring behind the walls, you can never unsee it. And that, my friends, is your real superpower.